Let's circle the Waganns, please.
Yeah. Speaking of A24, yeah. Speaking of A24 crushing it. Yeah. Speaking of that studio crushing it, let me tell you about who else is crushing it around the OU programs. I know, Mason, I had to bring it back. You had a great segue, and then Mark just totally
you crushed it, Matt. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. So I wasn't here last week, so I had some people fill in for me. So I appreciate you guys doing that. I do want to give a quick update on a couple different programs that's going on. Some big events happening this weekend. And hopefully, if you're in Norman, we need some boots on the ground. So one of the biggest things going on is the OU Men's National Championship, which I know the boys mentioned this weekend or last week on the pod. We got to mention again. It's going to be in Norman. It's going to be wild. They're number 2. They're facing Stanford, Michigan, Nebraska, and I think 5 other teams. And they're going to compete for a national title in Norman. So if you're there, go for it. Now, what's
stretchy boys.
Stretchy boys.
Stretchy boys.
Love it. Now, the other event going on in Norman on Saturday is OU women's tennis. Currently number 2. They recently beat Iowa State, who's ranked number 26, 5 matches to 2. Then they beat West Virginia 7-0 to get the first ever share of the regular season Big 12 title. Now they have the opportunity this weekend to win it all by facing OSU, who is number, I think, 12 currently. So if they beat OSU outright, they'll win their first ever outright Big 12 title.
Amazing.
For OU women's tennis. So I know this is a program that kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, I've grew up playing tennis. So did my brother. OU men and women's tennis hasn't been as big as what the women are doing currently. So
hold on. You played tennis?
I thought I didn't know if we were going to touch on this or not.
Yeah, I played for about 8 years, and then my brother still teaches and all that. So every time I go back to Norman, we always go hit a little bit.
All right, folks at home, I just need to let this be clear right now. I roomed with Matt Gann in college. I rushed him. I was the rush chair for our fraternity, and I signed Matt Gann to our fraternity. I lived with him. I've been friends with him since 2014, 13, whatever it's been. When I tell you that I legitimately do not know this man, I don't. I couldn't tell you a lot of things about him. And the fact that he played tennis for 8 years, and this is the first time that 3 of us are hearing about it, that's wild.
Wild.
There's a lot you don't know about me. Yeah, a lot you don't know about me.
Yeah, I think that's a problem.
There's no good reason for that, man. No good reason for that. You don't got to be a character all the time.
God.
You just got to ask more open-ended questions, I guess.
We do, and then you never answer the question.
You're the worst. You're the worst.
Hey, what youth sports did you play, Matt? Just have conversations with us.
Yeah, no, 100%.
All right, go continue.
Of course. OU women's tennis, big matchup. So if you're in Norman, you can go to both. I think they play at 4:00. And then the men's championship is over a couple of days. So hopefully you guys can make it to both of those events and cheer on both those programs this weekend. The other thing going on is OU Women's Gym. They're going to be competing for the title this weekend in Fort Worth. So I know we have some people down here, so maybe that's something that maybe Mark, Ryan, I don't know if you guys are busy this week, what you guys are doing, but head on over to Fort Worth, see our women who are number 1, take on some really good teams as well as they compete for hopefully another national title as well. Now, I do want to give a quick Masters update. I know we talked about it earlier in the segment. We did mention a former OU golfer, Abe Answer, who did play his 3rd Masters. Ended up missing the cut at +7, but it's always good to see some former OU golf guys. Plus, they're number 1 in the nation right now, so they're going to have a lot of good golfers in the future to come to play at these big events. So it's always good to see some former OU alums play on the biggest stages in any sport as well. So now the biggest one we got to get to. Come on, who else is crushing it other than OU softball? And if you haven't listened to last week's pod with the interview with Chris Plank and Mason, giving us some really good insight to OU softball, actual boots on the ground is what Chris Plank does. It's a great interview. I highly recommend if you're big into softball, please go listen to that podcast. We've got some short clips as well. He's got just some great commentation on what's going on currently with this team. Give a quick update. 36-0. 30 wins via run rule, which is winning by 8+ runs by the 5th or 6th inning. Crazy. 354 runs, 27 allowed. And I know you're thinking to yourself, Matt, will you do some math for me? I already did. That's a 13-1 ratio. Every 13 runs we score, we give up 1 run. That is absolutely bonkers. Bonkers.
Yeah, there you go.
100 home runs, 21 shutouts, currently on a 38-game win streak. And we always talk about Alo, but the whole team itself is absolutely crushing some balls. So Alo has 21 home runs, currently sitting at 109 all time. That's only going to continue to get higher. But we also have 3 other girls who are in double-digit figures in home runs. Grace Lyons, 17, Tara Jennings at 16, and Elam at 11 home runs. 4 girls that already have double-digit home runs, and it's only going to continue as the season progresses. Now, their next series is a big one. It's a Red River shootout against Texas. They got a 3-game series coming up this weekend. I know Chris mentioned it in the interview that Texas was one of those teams to look out for, so it should be some great games coming up this weekend. But that is my wagon segments coming on here today. So glad to be back. Glad to circle them wagons once again.
Glad to have you back, Matt.
Man, that was so much better than Mark and I did last week.
Yeah.
You guys crushed it.
Good job. No, you guys did great. I thought you did very good.
Yeah. But that was what it's supposed to sound like. He's good at this. He's got this down.
Yeah. I still can't get over you played tennis. I still can't get it eats me alive.
Any other secrets you want to tell us again?
Yeah.
We'll save it for later. Play T-ball too, but yeah.
Played what?
Played T-ball?
Yeah.
No, did you play T-ball for 8 years? Then I don't care.
No.
Okay, exactly.
Do you think T-ball needed
disclosure?
Was that the thing?
Like, folks, think about it. 8 years of your life, you did something. You did it, and you played it, and it was something you were passionate about. To just never mention it, that's a wild thing to me.
Hold on.
You've known Matt Gann 8 years, Mason.
Did you know
that's how long it is
Mason,
that he played tennis?
Yeah, Ryan.
Did you know I swam for like 10 years?
10? Oh, I knew you swam, but 10 years?
Yeah, I think so. If you add it all together.
Did you give up for that? Like early in high school and stuff?
It was early high school that I stopped doing it, but I did it like competitively when I was a kid too.
Oh, we're just learning all sorts of stuff tonight, huh?
Right. All right. We need to air this out now. Ryan swam, Matt played tennis. Mark, you were just football and basketball, right?
So I played like 2 years of youth basketball, and I did the piano for a few years, and I did karate for a few years, but basically everything would just led me to football. And that was the only thing that stuck.
Okay. I wasn't any fun. I was football. That's literally all I was. And that's it. I mean, when I was younger, when I was younger, I played different sports or whatever. But like in high school and like middle school, it was just football. That's all.
Well, hold on. Okay, Gann, when did you stop playing tennis?
Right before high school.
Why?
Both sports were in the spring, so I had to choose between tennis. Yeah, my brother played for high school for Norman North, which I'm about to talk about why I'm wearing this here in a second. But yeah, I had to decide, and soccer I was way better at.